Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another SWGOH video. So I'm back with another boss battle, so this time I'm in the Conquest in Sector 3 and here we're taking on Darth Revan, the real Sith Empire Trooper, HK, Bastila and Malak. So as the previous sectors, there are 3 feats you have to complete, so in this video I want to show you one team that can complete all these feats in a single attempt. Speaking of feats, CG, please fix this bug, because right now here I can't really show you the feats, but basically the 3 feats are: you have to win without using Old Republic, then you have to win after scoring at least 30 critical hits, and then win without losing a unit. Now 2 out of these 3 feats probably are not too challenging, but the one where you have to win after scoring 30 critical hits can be slightly tricky to achieve, because in most likelihood you will take these guys out in about 10 to 15 hits. You won't even do for 30 hits if you go in with a proper team. However, I found a way with use of certain data discs that it allows you to do this. Speaking of data discs, let me show you what data discs I have equipped. The Leader's Resolve, now this one, for this particular one battle here, it plays no part really, but speaking of speed, for example, the Leader's Resolve adds 20% speed to my leader, so even that would make my leader, I think, my Thrawn he would be around 370 speed with this speed bonus, and he still didn't go first. So, you know, also CG, while you're at it fixing the bugs, please can you add the feature that we can actually check the speeds, and maybe some other stats, but mostly the speeds of the enemies, especially in boss battles, because like this you're going in blind, not knowing who will go first, and as we obviously go into the hard difficulties, this, you know, turn order will be even more important as we are facing more and more challenging enemies. So definitely, you know, we will need to be able to see their speed. Now in Galactic Challenges, that's not too much an issue, because you don't need to waste energy to go in and try and figure things out, whereas here, just to try, you're gonna waste energy. So definitely would need to know the speeds. But anyway, for this particular battle, the speed, this data disk here doesn't really matter, because it won't be the leader that will doing all the work. Here, this one, removing turn meter, again, you won't be able to remove turn meter from Sith Empire. So again, this data disk won't really be useful. However, this is where now the data disks that are crucial start to appear. So the first one is deployable cooling systems. So whenever a unit gains above, there will be 15% chance that their cooldowns are reduced by 1. So what I've done was then I tried to add as many data disks that add buffs. So for example, I've got defensive buffs, so at the start of every turn, a unit will gain critical hit immunity, tenacity up, and defense up. So every time a unit takes a turn, we'll gain these 3 buffs. And for each of these buffs, we will have a chance to reduce our cooldowns. And then as well, if we look at the heal over time, it was same thing. They will gain 2 heal over times for 2 turns. So basically, at the beginning of every turn, the unit will gain 5 buffs, and for each of those buffs, there will be a chance to reduce cooldowns. So with these kind of data disks that are adding buff and the cooling systems data disk, it will allow me to keep using AoE over and over again, hitting multiple enemies, and in that case we'll be able to get those 30 critical hits, because with a single target hits you'll just take them out too quickly. So these are basically data disks that are kind of crucial for me, that I was quickly able to do this in one go without any problems whatsoever. Now also let's look at the modify here for the enemy. Here we go. The Greater Good. So if boss has no marked allies at the start of the turn, they randomly mark another ally. So think of it as General Grievous when he's passing mark around. So there's going to be similar thing. And again, this mark sometimes could, you know, prevent you to get those critical hits, especially if you get stuck behind Malak and he gets critical avoidance and all this stuff. So basically, you know, having this strategy, they can keep using AoE over and over again. Then, you know, it gets around this mark, that doesn't become a problem at all. And now we are finally ready to show you the team and then also the battle. Okay, so this is the team that can complete these all 3 feats in one go. So I'm using Thrawn lead here. and there are really two reasons for that. Because with Thrawn's leadership, whenever an Empire ally they gain a debuff or resist it, they will gain bonus turn meter. So this is just kind of a safeguard, if you will, just in case, you know, things go wrong and we get fear on Vader, that, you know, he can quickly get another turn and get things going. And another thing is as well, the Empire allies will gain a new ability, Maneuver, and again this will come handy when we are doing the AoEs in the battle, you will see. And then sometimes the cooldowns don't get reduced instantly, you know, because it's a 15% chance for each buff that you get. Then you can just use Maneuver to quickly again get another turn and then this will allow you to again reduce cooldowns again. So we'll, you know, that's what kind of Thrawn's leadership adds here. That's really all what he will do, to be honest. Then looking next, Vader, he's really the key piece here, because what you'll do is you'll enter the Merciless Massacre, and when he's in Merciless, he can't get feared. And this will obviously allow you to keep spamming your AoEs without, you know, Malak putting fear on Vader, and then Vader will just be able to cycle because of the reducing cooldowns. Will be keep, you know, cycling between Force Crush and Merciless, Force Crush and Merciless, and we'll just be spamming AoEs, can't get fear when in Merciless, and eventually we will get those 30 critical hits in. So I just show you the mods here. Do have some speed on him as well as damage, things like that, but you know, it doesn't really matter all that much because he's getting like literally infinite number of back-to-back turns, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest, mods too much for him. Piet here, now I don't know, he doesn't really do much here because Vader will get a turn and he'll just get his loop going, but just in case, you know, Piet would get a turn, you know, he does have some sort of synergy there with Vader and Emperor's Trap and things like that, so he could be useful. Then you will need a pre-taunting tank to take that initial fear, because Darth Vader here is really fast. Now my Thrawn there, with all the bonuses from the data disk, his speed should be over 370, and he still doesn't outrun Darth Revan. That's why you need a pre-taunt, so in this case I'm bringing in Brute Alpha so he can summon Brute there for the taunt. And then finally what, so he can apply a weapon tech on Vader. This probably, I'm thinking now, is maybe not really necessary, because anyway, Vader's getting infinite amount of AoEs and everything, so eventually you would build up enough damage to take everybody out anyways, but I think just what makes it a little bit faster with his tech there. Alright, so now it's finally time to go into the battle. I can show you how this team works. So Darth Revan is very quick, he will go first, so what you want to do is put weapon tech on your Vader. There we go, then they will go, yeah, that's fine, so they have a lot of speed on them. As you can see, there is a bug here where I get a chance to apply another weapon tech, but I didn't do that. I applied tank tech over on Brute, so he got a taunt back. Now we can go into Merciless here, and I'll just target Malak, do an AoE there, that was like, what, 5 critical hits. So now here we can again use Maneuver ability to get another quick turn, and then we can use the Merciless again and do an AoE again. And there we go, Merciless again. So there you go, the cooling system here really is allowing you, because of all those buffs, to keep using over and over again Merciless and Force Crush. So eventually all these AoEs will finish them off, and see why it was important to use Brute there, because if you would have any other pre-taunting tank, remember you have to win without losing a unit. So losing Brute doesn't count as losing a unit, so you don't need to worry about that. That's why, you know, he's very good. And again, keep going, Merciless, AoE here, there we go. Oh man. And again, HK's got quite full turn meter there, so we'll have to probably take him out before he gets a turn, but until then, let's just start spamming AoEs. There we go, Merciless again. Because HK, he will be regaining health and protection whenever buffs expire, and all those buffs that Vader is getting is basically recovering health and protection on HK. So to take out HK, we'll have to throw Culling Blade at him. But for now, let's just keep using this infinite loop here of Merciless Massacre and Force Crush. And once we're just down to HK, we'll just throw Culling Blade at him, and hopefully I got my 30 critical hits in here. CG again, while you're at it fixing bugs and adding speed to the enemies, please add a counter for these feats so that we know when we are done, so that we are not just kind of blindly going here over and over again. Okay. And also Darth Revan here, he keeps equalizing health here with HK, so I'm like, you know what? I think I've got my 30 critical hits here. Anyway, Merciless, Force Crush. Some of these data discs really kind of break the game, but you know, at least it's fun because some of these feats can be tricky to complete. So definitely with the use of the data discs, such as the ones I showed in the beginning, some of these feats become then a lot easier to achieve. I don't know what you think, guys. Did I get my 30 critical hits? I can't really count because sometimes things happen so quickly you can't really see was it crit or not. And there we go. Hopefully, I think we should get it right. Okay, my credits, thank you. And there we go. So now you can finally here see the feats that we completed, because initially there often they don't show up. So anyway, got flawless victory without losing any units. Again, that's why you do want to use Geo Brute Alpha there, because the Brute that is summoned, he doesn't count as a loss of a unit. If you have any other pre-taunting tank, then you have to really take care that Malak doesn't take that pre-taunting tank out. But in this case, you know, that was not an issue because it was summoned. We scored at least 30 critical hits with spamming their Merciless and then Force Crush with Vader over and over again. And of course, we didn't use any Old Republic characters, so we completed that feat as well. Alright guys, hope you find this video useful and helpful to show you how here in Sector 3 you can complete all 3 feats using a single team, so you do not need to waste energy for multiple battles. Let me know in the comments below or on my Discord server how you guys are doing, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.